Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Sunday, January 1st, 2023 by Gaia Blooming. I'm Mimi and our energy mantra for today is I value myself so much that I practice responsibility. And happy 2023. I love you all so much that I just can't quit you, and I had to show up to do a scope today. I'm going to mention a few things at first. I just did my patron group month ahead for January, and I think I'm going to keep that public. So you can go check that out. I will maybe post that in the comments below this scope, and maybe consider joining my patron group. It doesn't mean that you have to show up to things, but if you value me and my scopes and the fact that I do show up every day, it would be so great if you could donate $1, $5, $10 a month, maybe $30 if you are an everyday watcher, $1 a day, because it helps me sustain myself, and I have kept my prices the same, and I, like everybody else, I'm feeling the pinch of this world, and I like my prices where they're at, but survival is also a thing. So I'm leaning into the trust of abundance. I'm leaning out of the fear, like I've been telling you guys this year, and maybe consider showing up, joining my patron group, or donating. Anyway, Happy New Year to all of us, right? Happy 2023. So let's dig into these astro energies. They are definitely fascinating for our first day of 2023. Now, my last scope was like, hey, watch out with this Venus-Pluto conjunction that we have. We're starting the day still in this energy, and Pluto reminds us that we can be empowered. And to me, this is a call for 2023, this being the first major aspect, to empower our self-care, empower what we value, empower the yin to kick this year off. Of course, I know I was warning you in the last video, and that's true too, because Pluto can be very tough on us when we go off the rails, right? But this is the other side of Pluto that's like, hey, you have the power. Step up into it. Show up into that. Our next connections, the sun and the moon, both connecting to the north node today. Now, of course, they're both connecting to the south node as well. So I started off speaking about my value, right? The north node, leaning into abundance, trusting that there is more than enough love in the world for all of us. The north node is at 11 degrees. The sun today is moving to 11 degrees. The moon meeting the north node is at 11 degrees. This is mastery, trusting in the more than enoughness. And a lot of times, we've all experienced, right? Like I said, I'm experiencing like the challenge of it, right? Okay, that's fair, but that doesn't mean that there's not more than enough. And this has been an ongoing lesson. As a Sagittarius, we've been going through lessons around money since 2008 when Pluto went into Capricorn. So as Pluto finishes up, we're really being pushed to step up our game for this. But we, the world, with Uranus moving through Taurus, the north node in Taurus, south node in Scorpio, we're all feeling this. We're all moving through. So where do you need to value yourself? Where do you need to make decisions that align with your values? That's part of the sun connecting to the moon, the sun connecting to the north node. Where do you need to put boundaries on yourself, in the world, all of that, so that you can show up because you value yourself in responsibility, meaning you can respond according to your soul. You can respond in a way that is true to you. And all of us are being called into this shift. So keep that in mind. We have some lazy cat energy today, and I think that's part of this too. Like, I lazy catted all day today. I lazy catted hard, and I needed it. But if that's what you need right now, to allow yourself to lean into the rest, the quiet, the downtime. We have some strong Taurus energy. We have some strong Pisces energy. This is reminding us, lean into rest. Let rest be part of your responsibility. Speaking of responsibility and the like, Mercury in Capricorn, retrograde, excuse me, is connecting to Neptune today. So also making the decision, making time for your spiritual self. I spoke about this a lot the other day. We are spirits in a material world. Is that song by Sting? He's not singing it in my head right now. So, but making time for that spiritual part of yourself, it doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be tarot cards. What is your connection to spirit? How do you show responsibility to that part of yourself? Sometimes it's getting out in nature. That's how you honor your spirit. So connect into that. Make time to set that in play for this year ahead. Finally, Moon and Uranus coming together in the afternoon. Might hit a little patch of triggers. This feels just like 2022. Okay, well, the only thing that's changing is like the numbers on our calendar, right? Like, New Year can be any day, and I really like to abide by astrological New Year myself in April, and yet, or no, not April, sorry, March, and yet there is a group vibration where we crest this wave and move over, right? So if you get triggered, it doesn't mean it has to be just like 2022. I guarantee astrologically this is not going to be just like 2022. There are a lot of changes incoming. Check out my month ahead patron video where I just went through some of those. Let's look at our cards for this first day in 2023. In the top of the cards, we have the conditioning. Watch for that. Watch where you are stuck in your conditioning. When you are stuck in conditioning, a lot of times, who and what are you ignoring? Your spirit self, your higher self, your inner voice. So where are you ignoring yourself? And if you can't tell, maybe you need to connect with your friends. This is Hard Times Require Furious Dancing, so that might be your spiritual process today. Dance to the music. But it also might be connecting with friends, getting by with a little help from your friends, letting them show you like, hey, you do this thing, you don't have to do it. Like, my friends are the best reflections for me in that place. And it may require letting go of some of that control. That is hard work in Capricorn season. Capricorn season, we can glomp onto that control, but there may be a calling to surrender. And again, going back to the scope, the surrender may be into rest. Please give yourself the rest that you need and deserve. The final card is the Silence card. And this is a bright omen. This is the Star card. To me, this is like we are heading into more goodness. Yes, the cycles of change, the cycles of challenge will be here, and yet goodness is here for us. Now, I want to mention that Nikki and I were thinking about possibly going live and pulling cards for you for this new year. We'll see if it happens. We'll see if we have to take that responsibility. We'll see where responsibility leads us. But do be on the lookout for that because we would like to do that. You can book a reading with me. Email me, mimiclark@gmail.com. 2023 year ahead readings are live. And besides that, the better it gets, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you. You have the power. And honor your values. Happy 2023. Namaste.